good evening. Those of you that are on the YouTube and TikTok platforms, we thank the Most Holy Yah, even Sanini Nini, for you. Yes, and let us pray, O Most Holy Spirit that have moved upon the water according to Genesis 1:1. We thank you for all that you've done. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for your favor. We thank you that you have subdued our enemies from the tip of South America to the northern part of Canada, even to the southern part of Africa, to Egypt. Those of us that are being oppressed, even those of us that are in Europe, in all the surrounding areas where we are oppressed, everywhere where we are oppressed, and our children are, and we're killed and we're persecuted all the day long. Yes, Most Holy Sanini Nini, we thank you that one day, according to your word, according to that book, whether they've translated it right or wrong, it's going to come to pass. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you. We give you the glory that the victory is yours, even those that have confidence in you. And we thank you for that. And we ask you to deal with us. Give us that help that we're supposed to have, that little help to get by these things that try us every day. These things that causes us to mourn and weep and howl each day. And we got governments that look upon us as nothing but dogs and this and that. But yet we know you have a plan. We don't agree with your plan. No, we don't, because no chastisement is not peaceable at any time. But yet for the remnant's sake, that chastisement is needed. And we thank you. Whatever you do, we don't like it, but yeah, we give you the glory and praise for it, because we know one day it's going to happen that we're going to spend our time in eternity even with you. And we thank you for these things. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We thank the Most High, Sanini Nini, even Tata and Zambi, for all that he's done. Yeah, we're in Genesis chapter 37. Genesis chapter 37. Yes. And I'm going to call this the beginning of the discipline of Israel. Now, and Acob went into the land wherein his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan. And these are the generations of Acob. Job, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the son of Bilhah, with her sons of Zilpah, and these were the handmaid wives, and his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Joseph is apparently, the youngest gonna always be the tattletale, or the youngers gonna be the tattletales. He brought an evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And that's gonna happen when a man marries a woman and she's younger and he's older, and he decides he's wanting to just marry her. She has children for him or whatever. He's gonna love that child more than he loves all the other children he ever had. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children. We're going to verse 4. Now, when his brethren saw that his father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him. They got jealous and could not speak peaceably until you think that people that are not your friends or your family going to treat you like that. Your family going to do the same thing if you're well favored. Now, Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we was binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and stood upright, and behold, your sheaf stood around about and made obeisance, or bowed to my sheaf. In other words, you gave honor to my sheaf. Okay, these were symbolic things. Sometimes God will take you through symbolic things, which might necessarily be the actual thing, but it's giving you a glimpse that something is about to happen. Okay, and his brethren said unto him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream thou hast dreamed? Shall I and my mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee? You little rat. Now, to the earth. And verse 11, And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the same. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, I will send thee to them. And he said to him, Here am I. And he said, Go, I pray thee, whether be with thy brethren. Be with thy brethren. He said, and wail with the flock, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. You realize this is Old English, the veil and all this other stuff. I wish I knew another language sometime. But anyway, a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field, and the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brother, and tell me, I pray thee, where they feed the flocks. Whether you live a distance or close, people are going to know who you are, period. They're going to know, because the land depends, their safety and everything depends on you, and you're going to depend on them. And the man said, They are departed thence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. Now, that's a place named also in Alabama here in the USA. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. And when he saw them afar off, even before he came near to them, they conspired against him to slay him. They were so jealous, they ready to kill him. I mean, this Acob, even Jacob, had much power with God. Much power. And they said to one another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. And now cometh, therefore, let us slay him and to cast him into some pit. And we will say some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said to them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hands upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. Now Reuben wanted to take him back to his father so that his brothers wouldn't kill him, you know. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brother, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat, and his coat of many colors that was on him. Joseph probably didn't pay it no mind, think it was a joke or whatever. But these men were serious. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, and there was no water in it. Now you have to realize, Acob even he employed his children. His children were not his servants. He had employees that lived among the village. You know, and yet they were paid with cattle, they had wives, they had children, all of his servants. They had all kind of, this is what they call servants. See, this is a word play. You have to realize the word play. They were not slaves. They were servants, yet you are a servant when you go to your job, but yet you're paid. If your job tells you to go to Brazil or go over to Europe or whatever, you're still a servant. What you think the word minister is? The word minister means servant. If you're a minister to the United States, you're a minister, you are a servant. Not to the president, but to the people of the United States. That's what you're supposed to be. Okay? Now, and they took him and cast him into a pit. The pit was empty, and there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked. Look at that. How they sit around and eat. This is basically Africans, you know, or African type people. Because that's what they did. And behold, the company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery, balm, and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? And what profit? Because God's going to hold you responsible, each one of you. You're going to get killed for that. Because that is the commandment. If you shed the man's blood, by man shall your blood be shed. Okay? Now this is what's going to happen to the oppressors. Those that have killed and killed and killed, they're going to look upon it. They're going to see this time coming. Well, their children are actually going to be killed according to the word and law of the Most High, Sanini Nanini. And there passed by the merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph, I'm in verse 28, to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. Reuben was sad. He said, Oh, Lord, what you do to my brother? What you do to my brother? You know? And he turned to his brethren and said, This child is not. And whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of goats and dipped the coat in the blood. They didn't even eat the coat. They just killed the kid, it says. And they went. They set the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, This have we found. Know how whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it. And he said, This is my son's coat. An evil beast that devour him. Joseph without doubt rent his clothes in pieces. And Acob rent his clothes and said, and put sackcloth upon his loins and mourned for his son many days. I mean, very sad. This is a favorite son. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him. But he refused to be comforted. And he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him, and the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard. Now, with this, I would say that Israel, the Bantu, are getting ready to enter into a period, 400-year period of discipline. We shall see how they go. There are different phases to this discipline. He didn't say the whole 400 years was going to be in bondage, but they're going to be in Egypt. But we're going to see what exactly his words are going to say as we go through this. We're entering. We're just a few verses to the end of this book called Beginnings. Now we know Joseph is already there. We know in families you're going to have people hate each other. You're going to have people deny each other. You're going to have people want to kill each other. Yes, even the families of the earth. That really most of the families come from who? Noah. Okay? According to the writings and according to this, Noah is the father of all mankind. Along in Adam before Noah. For those in between Adam and Noah were killed. They were taken out by the flood. Now with that, we're going to say peace and study that Bible.